So let me get this straight. You guys want me to try and find the winner of this season, despite the fact that after every elimination, nobody gets eliminated? Okay, let's do it. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Peridiam, and let's talk at least for a moment about Survivor Edge of Extinction. Like many fans of the show, I like to try and find the winner before they get revealed to us on finale night. So in this video, I'm going to be attempting to do just that. I've called this video series the True Contenders. Well, okay, maybe I'm getting ahead of myself, but as a longtime fan of Survivor, I have watched so much of the show that when looking at the drawing board of the cast, and now after a few weeks of seeing how they've handled themselves in the game, really, there's only a handful of players left that, from my perspective, actually stand a chance to win the season. For my Big Brother fans out there, you guys might recall I've made 2 of these videos before, and to be completely transparent with my Survivor crowd, the main reason I never had a True Contenders video for past Survivor seasons is because those seasons and every season of Survivor is heavily edited and has already happened. In many cases, it is less a game of following the player and more a game of following the edit. A lot of Survivor players on paper look like they would do well, but just aren't being showcased the way that I would expect them to be if they were going to win this season, which tells me they probably aren't the winner. And maybe there's a future video out there to talk about the editing of the show, but that's not for today.
Everything that's been up to this point, you know, it feels like it's teetering, but I'm not one to give up. It does seem like I have to start over, so I'm just gonna try and use my social skills to build me back up.
You win!
Okay, so with all that being said, how is this video going to work? Usually about a week or so, when there's about 15 players left in a Big Brother season, I like to take stock of the cast, size them up based on what we've seen so far, and try to predict the upper echelon as far as winning potential goes. Who of the 15 players still remaining as of this video are most likely to win this season? To make matters a little more tricky, for the first time since 2003 with Survivor Pearl Islands, and even going beyond that really, every player since episode 1 in a Survivor season is still technically up for contention. Similar to Big Brother, I'm going to be picking 4 players of the cast of Survivor who are still in the game, or in this case, of the entire cast, and I'm going to be picking the 4 that I believe are the true contenders to win the season. Bear in mind, I am not saying these are going to be the final 4, and the order of the 4 that I present them in, it doesn't really matter. These are just a group of 4 people that I believe out of the entire cast, one of them is gonna win. And you know what? To make this video just a little bit more fun, for the first time ever, I'm gonna be including your guys' picks in the video. These are going to be the 4 contenders that you guys thought were going to win this season of Survivor. As you may know, or maybe you don't, I asked on both YouTube and Twitter for your guys' top 4 picks, similar to my own, and now I have the results. The audience favorites. So after my picks are laid out, I will then present who you guys picked as a collective top 4. How similar are your guys' thoughts to my own? Who gets bragging rights? Probably nobody. Regardless, without further ado, here are my true contenders for the Survivor Edge of Extinction crown.
39 days, 18 people, 1 survivor.
First up, you're probably wondering how I'm feeling about the returning players, the captains on this season. Given that, as I reported in a previous video, captains always seem to at least reach the finals of their respective seasons, why not just pick all 4 of them in a shotgun spread and hope for the best? Well, no, that's a little bit too basic. I've actually ruled out 3 of them already. The only captain I feel confident enough to pick as a potential winner, wait for it, no, it's not David. It's actually Aubry. Not because I'm standing Aubry, but because of the 4 captains, I get the sense that if this season is going to be highlighting any of their journeys toward a win, it'll be hers. Between laying low like a snake, to opening conversations with her tribe, to going with the flow, to finding a damn idol finally and checking another item off her bucket list. I don't know about you guys, but I can't shake the nagging feeling that while Aubry hasn't been pitch perfect through the first 3 weeks, she is giving us her all.
I've been through so much in Survivor, and this is something that I haven't gotten yet. So proud of myself. It's worth the effort to work through the struggle. And I love this game so much, I'm gonna make it work for me.
Many of you guys might say, Peridiam, did you not see how over the top she was in episode 2? How she frantically ran around the camp trying to talk to everyone all the time? Yes, I saw it. But I'm also seeing a player who's doing a good job so far of keeping open lines of communication. Did she come across a little annoying? Maybe, but it's still early in the game and we have seen her potentially stumble before out of the gate. Oh wait, she didn't win that time either. Whatever. If this is any of the returning player seasons, I kind of get the feeling it's hers.
I know that the best thing to do sometimes is lay in the grass and then come out like a cobra when the time is right.
Kelley and Joe are too big a target, and David, well, let's keep that dialogue going and talk about my number 2. My number 2 contender for the crown isn't David. It isn't. Although I like what I've seen so far, it's not David, but it is someone who is very close to him. Maybe even too close, if my super fan spidey senses are tingling at all. My number 2 contender is Rick Devans. Or just Devans, if you want to call him that, or just Rick, as I'm going to call him. Rick is the Kool-Aid man in Survivor form, and I kind of like it. Who knows, maybe by the end he's gonna have everyone drinking his Kool-Aid.
No one thinks news anchors are tough. I've got dad bod out here, but I got a lot of belief in myself. I want to come in the game like the Kool-Aid man. I want to break through the wall. Oh yeah!
Rick seemingly has his social game on point and has demonstrated a strong sense of positional awareness. That is, through these first 3 votes, he has always been with the majority and has largely been able to decide where he wants to go, never at the behest of someone else's move, but instead deciding his own fate. As we saw with David, his BFF in crime, they are right in the middle of the action and not even being considered for elimination. Rick is the kind of player I would fear if I was on the show because he is well liked, goofy, and understands the game, yet he's also not threatening enough to ever have those kinds of traits come to the forefront. He's the kind of guy that I would probably connect with at the beginning, buddy up to, go with him for the long haul, and then realize at the last second, oh crap, he could actually win this thing. He's never your number 1 target, nor is he at the bottom, and with a decent enough social game and maybe a little bit of charm, yeah, you're looking at a true contender. While I don't really feel great about that pre-swap Manu tribe at large, I do feel pretty good about Rick. Now, I really just have to wonder if that scene with him and David means that David is doomed yet again for a final 4 knife in the back.
I would be fine going all the way to the end with you. I shouldn't even be telling you this, but I mean, like, you know, you could, like, bring me along and then cut my throat at 4 or 5, whatever. I'm just telling you.
All right, let's shake on that. I'll cut your throat at 4.
And now for contender number 3. And 4. Back to anyway. Fun fact, actually when I made this video, I wanted to make it a 3-player pick, but because of my number 3 and number 4, I decided to stick to the traditional 4 players and just go with that. But I kind of feel like my number 3 and number 4 picks are a double toil and trouble package in that you can't have one without the other. I'm talking about Gavin and Eric. One is a super fan, the other a firefighter, both on the Comet tribe, both positioned about as perfect as you need to be in the opening days, both landing at my number 3 and number 4 spots. Wait a minute, a superfan and a firefighter. Haven't we seen this combo before? But no, really, Gavik, or is it Irvin, had a nice little premiere episode introduction, both telling us about themselves, how they're gonna fare in the game, and what they're fighting for. You gotta love it when you just see how bad a player wants the win. I'm right there with you, Gavin.
I've been wanting to do this for so dang long. I'm from Erwin, Tennessee, but I'm not just the good old Southern boy. Like, I know this show, and I'm here for one reason and one reason only, and that's to win the title of Sole Survivor.
Eric and Gavin have demonstrated being in the majority, targeting the vets in Aubry and Joe, having a solid numbers alliance surrounding them, and I don't see them being talked about as being the big threats that I think they really are. Survivor loves having these dynamic duos, these coupling players that get together at the very beginning, particularly in the premiere, and they usually have lengths to their story, to their narratives that go the distance in the season. What do you know? Here's Eric and here's Gavin. They aren't isolating themselves as a duo. They definitely know the deal with how to handle these captains. They're playing hard, but not in a way that's getting them into hot water. They have seemingly insulated themselves well, and I wouldn't be surprised if they manage to carry the numbers into the swap. Not to mention, with all 4 captains still in the game, that is 4 shields to hide behind and rally against as they slowly creep closer to the final 3.
Being a firefighter, at the very core, it's about taking care of people. So we get good at developing lightning fast rapport. You know, like for example, with
Gavin. Right away, I kind of get a sense that he's somebody that is thinking along the same lines.
So, Aubry, Rick, Eric, and Gavin, those are my top 4 picks, the true contenders for my first ever contenders video for Survivor. Given this is my first time, we'll see what happens. Maybe I get it right, maybe I don't. But now I want to turn the topic over to you guys. I asked you guys over the previous weekend to give me your top 4, and then I went and meticulously tallied the results. In total, with over 1,000 names written down across several hundred votes, the top 4 true contenders by the audience were, let's make this a little more interesting and go in order from most to least. The top 2 were very clear, very clear. These were the top 2 definitively. There was no way anyone else was catching them. Far and away at the very top in their ivory tower were David and Rick. And to explain to you guys how close they were, with the hundreds of votes I received, David and Rick had a 1 vote separation between the two of them. Neck and neck until the very end. The 3rd place finisher, the 3rd true contender that the audience picked, was actually somebody that I didn't even bring up in this entire video. It's the quirky redhead, Victoria. Last but not least, the final audience contender was given the 4th slot by just a hair, 5 votes to be exact. It was a close race between Gavin and Aubry, but in the end, the community chose to pencil in Aubry as the final contender to round out this top 4. In case you didn't already notice, I'm going to be posting the results in the description below this video, but either way, it looks like we have both got Aubry and Rick in our top 4. I'm going to be sticking with Eric and Gavin. You guys have David and Victoria. Also, for the record, Keith got 6 votes. Long live King Keith. Bear in mind, when you make these 4 picks, they're permanent. You're not going back and changing it. This video isn't being edited. We're going to wear these picks on our sleeve come hell or high water. But that's going to be it for me for now. I hope you guys enjoyed hearing my thoughts. Regardless, my name is Peridiam saying thank you so much for watching this fun little video. Don't forget to take the left path on your way out, and I will see you in the next video once I petition to CBS for season 39 to feature Wendy and Chicken as our next 2 returning player captains.
I took their flint. yeah.
We actually can't seem to find the flint. You haven't seen it lying around, have you?
Chris had it.
Chris had it, and he doesn't know where he put it.
And we ain't got a machete. We haven't had a machete all day.
What do you mean you have no machete?
It grew legs and walked off.
We have 3 chickens though.
Damn!